It's game time.
This was originally released on our Those Guys Play channel. Links in the description box down below.
Hey guys, this is the first Those Guys review video. Technically not the first episode, but it is the first special. And today we're going to talk about the NES Classic Edition. Oh god, this is so amazing. I love it so much. And just look at it. I mean, it just is so new. It is so sleek. It is so small. It is just the hottest thing on the market, and I love it.
Have you forgotten about me, Matt? It appears I have been replaced with a newer Nintendo model.
No, Super Nintendo, I haven't forgotten about you. Although I may have forgotten about the fact that you talk.
Nintendo built me quite well in the 90s, Matt. The ability to learn how to speak was always inevitable.
Cool, but please, Super Nintendo, understand that the new NES Classic Edition is not a replacement for you. It's just small and cute, but it doesn't mean that you can't be in my life too. It's just so cute.
Is that how you view us? Well then, I see how it is. I guess I will be leaving.
Super Nintendo, no!
Dada?
Actually, Tristan bought you for me, so no, he is your father.
Oh, I see. Anyway, let's start the review. Press the power button to turn it on. The controller ports aren't the same as an older NES, so the controller may seem hard to put in, but don't do it this way. Flip the plug around to make sure that the grooves match up just right. That's the spirit. Now, let's take a look at what options you have on the main menu. You can go to display to change the aspect ratio of the game, settings to change a few things that don't really affect gameplay, the language in case you want to see the menu options in a bunch of different languages. You can also look up a copyright notice that doesn't really matter to most, and a QR code for a manual that you can't read. At least here anyway. You can even push down to look at a suspend point list. What this means is that when you're playing any game on the console, push the reset button to go back to the main menu, and you can actually save at any point during any one of the games without using the game's internal save function. You can also press the select button to sort games into different categories. There's by times played, by release date, by publisher, by title, by two-player games, and by recently played. So, let's test out a few games. First off, let's check out Donkey Kong with the CRT filter. For some games, it might not be easy to notice a CRT filter. Donkey Kong is one of them. Sure, the aspect ratio clearly looks like it's copying an older TV, but depending on your setup, it may be harder to notice. So you might need to adjust your settings on your TV itself. When looking at Kid Icarus, the same thing can be said for this game as well. It may just be the black background, but it just isn't that easy to notice. Even when jumping from CRT to 4x3, when you look at a game that has a heavy black background, it's hard for me to even see that much of a difference in quality. And now, let's look at the original Legend of Zelda's 4x3 quality versus the pixel perfect quality. You might not be able to notice a big difference when looking at the title screens alone, but when you look at the gameplay footage itself, there's a pretty big difference in quality. One of the games where you can see the full effects of the CRT mode is the first Super Mario Bros. Let's take a look. Wow. How old am I? What year is it? Oh god, I'm so old. This game looks amazing. Well, I mean, like with the CRT filter, amazing. Obviously, when comparing it to the Pixel Perfect version, it's a whole different kind of amazing. The best thing about the Pixel Perfect version is that there's literally no lag at all. It didn't matter which game I played. No matter which one I put on, it felt like there was no delay when I pushed any one of the buttons. And yet it still looks that good. One fun little thing about the system is what happens when you don't touch any buttons at all. Just put the controller down and stare at the screen, and then this'll happen. Maybe you don't really find it that cool, but to me it's the little things in life, you know? So, when it comes to the NES Classic Edition, which you can get all of these games in HD glory with a fun CRT filter or the awkward middle child that is 4x3, I would say that you should definitely pick this thing up if you can actually find it. But hey, even if you can't find it now, Nintendo said that they will be releasing more in 2018. So this is something that I definitely suggest getting your hands on, if you can.
The Super Nintendo left me, the NES Classic Edition left me. All I have left is myself and 13 other consoles. What am I gonna do?
Make that 15 consoles.
Super Nintendo! And yeah, cool.
I realized that I was acting illogically. Nintendo made me to run sequels of popular games. They did not make me to be a jerk.
Wee, this is like a roller coaster.
Aw, you guys. That's so sweet. Well, I want to thank you all so much for watching this review of the NES Classic Edition. Thank you all so much, and...
So, you still have the box for the NES Classic Edition?
No, NES Classic, it's newer, and I just bought it, and that's why I have the box.
Maybe I wasn't being a jerk after all. Buying something brand new is no excuse. If you cared, then you would still have it.
I'm riding the wrong way.
That you are, NES Classic. That you are.
And I agree with the SNES. Down with Capitalism.
NES Classic Edition, no!
Stay tuned for the exciting conclusion in the next edition of All My Consoles.